They showed up at our door like they owned the place, clipboards in hand, fake smiles plastered on their faces. At first, I thought it was just another annoying neighborhood thing. You know, the kind of people who complain about the length of your grass or where your trash cans sit. But this wasn't just about trash bins or mailboxes. No, this fake HOA had a different agenda, and it involved my 8-year-old son. They claimed there were community concerns, that we weren't following the rules. Problem is that Asterisk wasn't Asterisk a real HOA. No board, no paperwork, nothing. Just a few people trying to control the neighborhood with scare tactics and phony authority. But what really crossed the line? They threatened to involve child services because we weren't raising our son the way they thought we should. That's when I knew this wasn't just a scam, it was personal. What they didn't realize was who they were dealing with. My husband may seem like just another quiet dad on the outside, but he's far from ordinary. He trains elite special forces, guys who move silently, strike precisely, and disappear before anyone knows what hit them. He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't make threats. He just gets things asterisk done asterisk. And when it came to protecting our son, he didn't hesitate. But the deeper we looked into this fake HOA, the darker it got. Hidden motives, secret meetings, and a twisted plan that went way beyond neighborhood drama. That's when things really got dangerous. It started with small things. A strange note left on our mailbox with no name, just a warning about neighborhood compliance. Then our security cameras caught someone walking up to our front door late at night. No package, no knock. Just standing there, looking around, then leaving. We brushed it off at first, thinking maybe it was just someone lost or a prank. But then the letters kept coming. They were typed, cold, with phrases like parental negligence and legal consequences. My husband started digging. He's trained to notice patterns, and something wasn't adding up. There were no public records for any HOA in our area. The county had nothing on file. But somehow, these people had names, addresses, even info about our son's school schedule. That's when it got real. Someone was watching us. Not just snooping, watching. We talked to neighbors, trying to stay casual, not raise alarm. A few had gotten letters too, but brushed them off. One elderly couple said they were told they'd be fined if they didn't repaint their fence. Another family moved out suddenly last month. No warning, no goodbye. It all felt connected. Then one night, our son mentioned a man he didn't recognize watching him at recess, said he was taking notes. That was the moment I saw something change in my husband's eyes. He didn't say a word, just stood up and walked to his office. That night, he opened a file I hadn't seen in years, and that's when the real investigation began. The file my husband pulled out was thick, marked only with a black tab and an old security clearance code. It wasn't just about tactics or training. It was a personal log, something he kept from his years working with special forces. Notes on surveillance methods, patterns of manipulation, even psychological tactics used in hostile environments. What bothered me most was how easily these fake HOA tactics lined up with those playbooks. He started mapping everything. The letters, the late-night visits, the faces we didn't recognize at the neighborhood park. A pattern began to form, specific families being pressured, people with young kids or property that could be flipped fast. It wasn't about enforcing rules, it was about control. Meanwhile, I kept things normal on the surface. School drop-offs, grocery runs, chatting with neighbors like nothing was wrong. But I was watching now, closely. I noticed a white SUV that kept passing our street, same time every afternoon. My friend across the block mentioned she'd been asked about our home life by a woman pretending to be a city inspector. It was all too organized to be coincidence. Then came the call. An anonymous tip had been made to Child Protective Services. They showed up at our door, asking routine questions, but their eyes told me this wasn't just protocol. Someone wanted us flagged, wanted us rattled, and they almost got what they wanted until my husband started making quiet calls of his own. He wasn't just gathering info anymore, he was going on offense. And whoever was behind this had no idea what was coming for them. The calls my husband made weren't to lawyers or local officials. They were to people he trusted from his old life. Quiet professionals who owed him favors. He wasn't asking for help. He was gathering intel. Within days, he had names, faces, phone numbers, and something bigger, a shell company tied to multiple fake HOAs across the state. Turns out, this wasn't just our neighborhood. It was happening in several middle-class communities, always the same playbook: intimidation, false authority, and threats against families with kids. He traced one of the names to a private property management firm that didn't actually manage anything. No licenses, no staff, just a P.O. box, a burner number, and a digital trail leading to a man who used to run shady real estate deals before getting banned from doing business in 3 states. Around the same time, I noticed our Wi-Fi acting strange, devices disconnecting randomly, cameras going offline. My husband scanned the house for bugs, found a strange signal repeating near the garage. Someone had planted a device nearby, likely to intercept data or monitor movement. That night, he sat me down and said, "They're not just pushing us. They're preparing for something." Then our son came home with a note in his backpack that wasn't from the school. No logo, no signature, just a single line. Asterisk, stop digging, or the boy won't be safe. Asterisk. That's when the air in our house changed. My husband didn't speak. He just locked eyes with me, nodded once, and disappeared into the night, a bag over his shoulder, mission face on. Whatever was about to happen, it wasn't going to be quiet. Hours passed after he left. I sat in the living room with every light off, clutching my phone, staring out the window like something might appear. The house felt different without him, too quiet, like it was holding its breath. I tried to distract myself, double-checking locks, reading our son a bedtime story with a calm voice I didn't feel. But I couldn't shake the feeling that we weren't just being watched anymore, we were being hunted. Then, just after midnight, he called, "Pack a bag, just essentials. You've got 10 minutes. His voice was low, steady, but different, like he was operating in a mode I'd only seen glimpses of before. No time to ask questions. I grabbed clothes, passports, our son's stuffed lion, and slipped out the back door. He met us 2 blocks away in a borrowed SUV, face grim, jaw clenched. As we drove, he finally spoke. "They're not just trying to scare us," he said. "They're moving assets, cleaning up." One of my contacts followed a guy connected to the fake HOA. He met with someone from a security firm, one that used to do private contracts overseas. These aren't just scammers. They're professionals. We were quiet until he pulled into an abandoned warehouse lot and cut the engine. "There's more," he added. "The man behind this, I knew him. Years ago, we worked the same operation. He vanished after a job went sideways." That's when I saw it. He wasn't just angry. He was betrayed. And whatever history they had, it was coming back full force. We stayed in that warehouse overnight, tucked deep in a corner behind old crates, trying to stay warm and quiet. My husband didn't sleep. He sat near the window, scanning the dark with eyes that had seen too many nights like this before. At dawn, he made his move. He left us with a burner phone and instructions. "If I don't call in 2 hours, take the second car and go to the safe location. No questions." Then he was gone. 2 hours passed, then 3. I was about to start the car when the phone rang. One word: done. He met us in a small diner off the highway, clothes dusty, knuckles scraped. He didn't smile, just slid into the booth and looked straight at me. "It's over," he said. "The guy running it all, he called himself Royce now. But I knew him as Keller. Last time I saw him, he left a village in chaos just to save himself. I should have ended it back then." Turns out, Keller had created the fake HOA scheme as a front to pressure families into selling undervalued properties, mostly military or former government workers with sensitive backgrounds. People who wouldn't talk, who'd just disappear quietly. Our family was a target because my husband refused to play along. He exposed Keller to the feds through an encrypted drop, and within 24 hours, the fake HOA dissolved, files deleted, phone lines dead, players gone. But just as we were catching our breath, I got a notification on my phone. A new message. No sender. Asterisk gone, snake down, but the pit runs deep. Asterisk. We looked at each other. The fight was over for now. But something bigger had just begun. We sat in that diner. The weight of the last few weeks finally hit me. It was over, yes, but the message left on my phone made it clear. This wasn't the end. Keller might have been the mastermind behind the fake HOA, but he wasn't the only one pulling strings. The pit was deeper than we thought. Still, I couldn't dwell on that now. My son was safe. My family was safe. My husband knew it too. He wasn't just relieved. He was on guard, always one step ahead. That's how he lived, how he thought. He had trained for moments like this his entire life, and when it counted, he had done what he had to do. I knew that no matter what came next, he would protect us. We both would. We left the diner, not looking back, but knowing the world had changed. The people behind the HOA scam. They were gone for now, but their trail was long, and someone else would pick up where Keller left off. My husband had cut one head off the snake, but the rest were out there waiting. As we drove back home, the silence in the car wasn't heavy anymore. We had beaten them, and though the danger hadn't fully passed, we had proven something to ourselves. Family, loyalty, and that no matter how deep the lies or dark the schemes, they could never defeat the strength of what we held together. And in the end, that's what really mattered.